Hey guys, Jonathan here at Shadow Foam, and today I'm joined by Randy from Moorlander EDC, and you've brought this Supro Box massive beastie war chest here, and I believe we're looking to make an insert for it, right?
Yeah, definitely. It is complicated on the inside, and I thought with you guys just being a stone's throw away from the Kingdom of the Moorlands, I thought it's too good of an opportunity to miss out, to come in, have a look around, have a good cup of tea, and then hit this challenge together. Yeah, see what we can do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're up for a challenge. I think it'll probably be the biggest insert we've ever made, but yeah, let's get started. Right, so we've got the Supro Box up on the table, and it looks like even more of a behemoth up here.
Yeah, they're massive, aren't they?
Where are these from then, the Supro Box? How did you come across this?
Supro Box are manufactured from Turkey, so I went to IWA this year and just got talking to Ziki from Supro Box. So yeah, sent me one of these.
And here it is. And it is pretty solid. And we had a quick look on the website there, didn't they? And they do loads of different sizes, and also I think they do this one in 7 colours.
Yeah, they've, I suppose, black, orange, green, olive drab. This is the mustard version. I think there's a couple of other colours on there as well. That's
just a bit of me, that is. Obviously we do Shadow Foam in 7 colours, and it's, I think colour coding is pretty good, so.
Everything to match.
So what are we putting in it?
We're going to be putting in my Airsoft rifle. Now, I know a lot of the fans of my channel will know that I'm not, strictly speaking, an Airsoft channel, but I think if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I quite enjoy it. But for this chest, it being the Moorlander war chest, it has to be my Airsoft rifle in here. But hopefully the little tips and tricks I'll pick up from you today, I do have a few other things in mind with a few other things that I've got lined up.
I mean, you've brought it to us because it is a challenge, isn't it? I mean, even as soon as you open it there, the bottom of that doesn't half look like a challenge, you know. You've got all of this kind of 3D moulding in the bottom, and then you've got the ridges around the sides, and you've got the wheels.
Yeah.
So making an insert for this isn't easy. However, we've got 2 different techniques we can use.
Okay.
One of them is salt, as odd as it might sound. When you're looking to like digitize a shape, you need a very clear contrast. We found that salt is the easiest thing because we can just pour it straight into the bottom, give it a shake, get it all lying flat, and it turns what is essentially a 3D shape into a 2D flat white image, to which we can then take a photo of it, either print it off and you digitize it that way, or then use a CNC to cut an insert.
Okay.
But it's not very accessible for most people, and that's kind of what we aim to do with Shadow Foam. Shadow Foam is built on accessibility. It's made for, you know, someone to just get a bit of Shadow Foam, get one of our cutting kits or a knife, and anyone can make an insert. So with that in mind, we're going to make a template for this using good old-fashioned paper and tape. So all we have to do is just basically, we're putting paper right up to the edge, and you can see straight away that gives us the width, you know, and we'll take those together, and essentially we just keep adding paper until we've got the full width and height filled in, and then we can start cutting in small profiles that go in all the little gaps, and we can capture all the detail. And what we should end up with is quite an accurate paper template that we can then use to make probably, I'd say, 2 inserts for this. It's a technique that anyone can use, you know.
And I suppose as well, whatever paper you've got lying around, whether it's old
newspaper,
as
long as you've got a bit of patience and you can just take your time going around.
And through the power of editing,
that's it for a paper template, and it does take a fair amount of time. That's probably 20 minutes of me and you, and obviously I was just showing you how to do it. So I think it'd be quicker next time, but it's no doddle, is it?
No.
But it's accessible for anyone. We started with the bigger sheets of A4, and we've stuck those in and made what would be like the main rectangle of the shape. And then from there, we've been able to pick up the detail. So we did use this contour gauge, which is available on our website. We don't use them very often. It's very rare that I find a use for this, but we were able to use that to pick up the contour on the side, and then we could draw that out on paper and cut around it. That helped us with this kind of row of 3 contours. And then in the corner, we just kind of like made a rough outline with a pen, a bit of my best guess of how the insert looked, and then just trimmed it until it fit. And then when you're looking to pick up little tiny details on the edge, you can just cut little strips like this, just thin strips of paper, you know, 10mm wide, something like that, and then you can use those and just kind of pick up the details. If there's anything that you want to get a little bit closer into, you could cut, you know, 10, 20 of these little strips and just push them into the corners, picking up the detail. You can even put a little point on them if it's trying to get into a corner. And you don't have to worry about this whole thing being fully taped down, because you just need enough tape on it so when you lift it out, it doesn't fall apart. And that's all you're looking for, really. And you can see there's all little bits of paper moving around, but they're held in place. We can now lay that on a piece of foam, cut around it, and the only thing now we need to know is what colour foam we're going to choose.
I think I quite like that teal. I think some of these are a little bit too bright, but I think with this being that kind of
darker tone,
mustardy colour, I think with the teal, with the black on top, you can see the depth when you're cutting into it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to go for that then?
Yeah, let's do it.
I would recommend we go for a 50mm base layer, which will then go around these wheels, and then we can put a 30mm layer on the top, which will cover up the wheels, and then it'll allow you can probably cut all the way through that one for the rifle. And that'll mean it's a nice easy cut all the way around it.
I think that's the best idea.
Right, so we'll shift this out of the way, and then we can pick up, I've grabbed a 50mm and a 30mm medium sheet. So these are available on the website shadowfoam.com, and they're just 1 meter by 500mm. And then we've got our paper template, which is slightly smaller than these. And all we're doing is laying it over the top. All we need then is one of our cutting kits. So a cutting kit has got everything you need to be able to cut the foam. So it's got a scalpel, 5 blades, it's got anti-cut gloves, it's got some glue to repair the foam if you make a mistake, and it's got some instructions. So once we've got our scalpel with the blade on and I've got a glove on, we just want to put a little bit of pressure on the template, and we're not cutting it all the way through at this point. We're just following that paper template, and you see when we get to a corner, we're just going wide of that corner. I'm not cutting right up on an angle, we're just going to go wide around the shape. And even here we can go a little bit wide. If we leave everything slack, we're nowhere near, and it'll be really, really difficult. But the straight edges, we want to cut them exactly, and then it's only on the corners really you can go a little bit wider.
Yep.
And we're not cutting all the way through, you're just basically making a pencil line that you can follow afterwards. So what we do here now is, so I've cut all the way around it, and you can see we've got the cut everywhere. So we pick it up, and that way we can follow our cut and cut all the way through. But you obviously, I've got the anti-cut gloves on, so I'm not going to cut through to my fingers, but you do have to be very careful where your fingers are, and you can also do it over an edge like this. Right, so we've done the 30mm, biggest insert we've ever made, that is by a margin. No, that's too big. Now we're on to the 50mm sheet, so we've got a 50mm here, it's back on with the template, but we'll do this one a bit quicker. And there we go, as quick as that. We've now got a 50mm and a 30mm insert, and I think now it's time to test fit them in the case. We will have to cut a radius on the bottom of this 50mm, so we'll do that as well, and then we've got to trim out for the wheels. That's one wheel, and then we'll do the same thing this side. So we can give that a test fit. It's never easy getting these huge inserts in, especially when the actual opening is narrower than the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in, that looks pretty good.
That looks awesome. Yeah, it looks
like a more usable space when you lose the wheel wells as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can get a real kind of understanding of the volume that's in there, and how much space that you have got to use. So what's next?
That is all of the most difficult part done. We've now got our 2 inserts. I know we're only cutting in the rifle here, aren't we? And then
I'm going to go home with everything that I've learned today and put in the rest.
Right, okay. So the rifle, is it this one? What was it again?
So this is the Scorpion Evo from CZ. The magazines should fit perfectly in here.
Yeah.
I'll be able to put at least 4, maybe 5 magazines there. I've got spaces for my batteries.
In the centre, just nearer the top.
Yeah.
This is a big deep item, so we can cut all the way through the top layer. And then what we might do is we might take a layer out of the 50mm one below. Now usually I would cut everything in and then glue the 2 together. But obviously if you're taking this away, we'll probably just cut all the way through, set it up ready to be glued.
Yeah.
And then obviously it'll be up to you then to finish it off.
Finish it off.
Yeah, so I think we'll cut this, and then the rest of this video will be, you'll be out on your own.
Yeah.
You be my guest. Because you're on your own.
And there's a bit of a top tip with this, so I can tell this is like a powder coated metal, and I can imagine it would scratch if I run the scalpel along the side. And like I say, very, very seldom do I do this, but with yours, I'm going to put a bit of tape around this handle, because it will, just by the feel of the metal, I can imagine it would pick up a scratch. So then all we're doing is we're using it like a pencil. We're not looking to cut very deep. We're just looking to drag it along the side of the item. Yeah. We're just trying to drag it around. Now sometimes you might have to just saw around a corner, but if we can, the scalpel is sharp enough that we can just drag it through the foam. And like I say, we're not looking to go very deep here. We're just trying to get a nice clear outline. Right, so we've done the full outline cut, and then I've gone back around and I've made that cut deeper. And all I'm doing that for is to make sure that I've connected the cut all the way around. I've gone all the way around every corner, but I've not cut all the way through yet. Now when it comes to cutting all the way through, I don't want to cut on top of this one, because if it moves or shifts, I'm going to end up with cuts all over the place. And I don't want to cut it on the table, because I'll cut through my tablecloth. So I just hold it off the edge, and I can just then push this through. And now I can go all the way through, and you can see straight away I'm going straight through. I would say it's worth putting in another 10 mil. Okay. So this is, I would say, a challenge for you, if you're up for it. This will be your first bit of foam cutting. So you want to make sure this doesn't move. You want to make sure you've got pressure on this. Yeah. And you just want to follow the outline around without moving it and without stretching it. Just follow this outline around all the way until you meet back. And you want to go down, you know, the depth of that, you know, good 10, 12 mil. So you want to go to at least that little nib there. Okay. And then we can peel back one layer and we'll get that teal contrast then. Just needed that extra bit of 10 mil just to sit a bit deeper in the foam. Yeah. Just a bit more snug and protected.
Yeah, that looks the bee's knees, that does, doesn't it?
A little bit of a top tip. We'll send you home with some spray glue. Here you go.
Thanks.
So when you cut your magazines in, save all the little offcuts, stick them all back in, and then you can spray glue the whole sheet and then pop those out, and it masks any overspray from spraying into this gap here. Yep. And it means you also get glue right up to the edge.
In a weird way, a lot of it's common sense, isn't it? Like you say, with putting the paper down on the inside, doing it methodically so that you've got all of your corners covered, so that you've got that one sheet that you can just peel out to put straight onto here. Putting in the work at the beginning to make sure that's all spot
Making sure that insert is a really nice, good fit. Yeah. Like I say, the rest of it is breeze then, isn't it? Yeah. It's over to you now, so.
Right, sound, I'll get those in, get it home, finish them off, put the mags in, and then I'll get this up so that you can all see it. I've just left the amazing team at Shadow Foam. I'm back in the Kingdom of the Moorlands, really to finish off the Moorlander war chest, which is just down here, which we'll have a look at in a second. We have cut out the recess so that my rifle perfectly fits into there. Now in the box, I'm also now going to put in my 4 magazines, and then the war chest as well has some inserts at the top. So I thought it would be really cool then, now that I've seen how to get my rifle in there, let's try and get a pistol in there, and the 3 pistol mags that I carry, which are all similar to a Glock pistol mag, the AAP01 that I carry. Okay, let's have a look at getting this stuff in here. So here at the front, this sits in perfectly. There is this little foregrip, and it just pokes down, so I'm trying to work out whether, I think if I have them flat like that, that's going to take up way too much room, mainly because they are wider than they are taller. So I'm definitely going to have them so that they stand upright like that. I think that way with the foam as well, it's probably going to be better because I can lift them to take them out. So I think I'm going to do them like this. That way I've still got about 10 centimeters or 100 mil before I get to this foregrip. So if I wanted to, I could put another one in at a later date, but then moving past the foregrip, I can certainly put some more in, and I'm probably gonna leave about maybe 15 millimeters between each of them. Actually, if I move them over that way, that extra little bit more, then at a later date I can even put an extra 2 of the magazines in here. So this is how I'm going to do it, and now I'm going to get safetied up and I'm going to start cutting these out. Now I do need to do just a little bit of cleaning up around here, but the way that I've done them is just left a little bit of meat on the pencil or on the bone on the inside. Mainly, as Jonathan was saying, that, you know, the foam has got some give to it, so if you cut them so that they're just ever so small, then you'll get that pinch and it will hold everything into place. This one appears a little loose. Now I'm not saying it's loose, it's certainly not loose. I think if I was to turn this upside down it wouldn't fall out. But again, when this is in here and when this is back in the crate, this will just pinch or bite in ever so slightly to hold that in there. Now let's get this back in the crate. Now I think that looks absolutely amazing. And as I mentioned, so this one felt as though it was not as tight as the others, but now that this is back in and it's pushing against it slightly, it's got the same retention that all of these have, having done a little bit of a clean up around the edge so that everything looks nice and neat. But, you know, this isn't the end of the story, because I've got these. Where are they now? Let me grab these. So these are the shelves that fit on the inside. If I just take out that. So what I want to do is I want to put in my pistol in here, and then I have my 3 pistol mags. So let's take this out, see how we can cut around this to get this to fit in as well. I've got 2 extra pieces of foam from Shadow Foam, and the way in which that I'm going to do this is I'm going to have the thicker layer at the bottom and then the thinner layer at the top, mainly because the thinner layer, I should just be able to cut through this thinner layer and then be able to you know, use it in that way. But what I might do is overturn the underlayer, so rather than having the black underneath, I've got the teal underneath coming through. But first of all, I need to make sure I can cut these to size. Now really all I need to be able to do is cut round this, and then the insides where we have these little grab handle parts, I can sort those out afterwards. Let's start cutting. Now I've been really curious about this. What if you don't have any scalpels? Can you cut it with a normal knife? Yeah, you can, easily. Okay, now I would thoroughly recommend you actually use the scalpel, but if you're the type of person that likes to use your knife, then feel free to use your knife. Yes! So I am ever so slightly larger, which I'm happy with, mainly because I've got more room to play with should I need to take some bits off. So I can round off these corners with my amazing round off skills. Got it in, but it's a tight fit. So how am I going to get this out? God, you're an idiot.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Okay, so I managed to get it out. That was a fun experience. Certainly lots of me banging. I had to turn it upside down and bang it to get it out. But I suppose in a good way, that just means that it's a nice tight fit. Now what I'm going to do is, on the top here, I'm going to cut this piece out using the piece that's on the bottom, using this piece as a template. So I'll have this black with this teal when I cut through onto this. And it's going to look amazing. So, right, okay, let's just take this out and hit fast forward. That looks epic. So, what I need to do now is put my wee pistol on there. So I think pistol should go there. Where are my magazines? And then we've got 3 Glock magazines. I don't need more than 3.
3 hours later.
Off camera, because what I had before was I had this larger 50mm and I had this shorter 30mm. But because I've still got plenty of foam left, I actually think that the 30 on 30 would probably be better. So I've cut out a second piece of this to line the bottom. So it's now only 30mm deep and I've got another 30mm on top of here. Hopefully this will mean now that I can put my gun on, but I can also put other stuff on top of this. Whereas before it was very close to the top, so it just meant that there was very little usable space. If I needed to use this maybe to take my gun apart, then certainly wouldn't want things to be falling out. But the way that it is now, it's a lot less. So, but I am going to reuse this. I'm going to keep this bit, mainly because I can reuse the centre part of there. Now, we're just going to take this out. I'm going to cut around my pistol. Pistole is in. And we're going to do the magazines this way on. Let's see if I can do this to a depth. And then when I put this on here, so now when I take my pistol out, we can see through, so that fits in there. The magazines aren't as deep, but they fit in perfectly. And then let's have a look at how this looks when it's back in the box. I'd say it's pretty much finished now, but the Moorlander war chest is, yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Now I definitely need to do some huge thank yous, because again, this has been one of the best kind of YouTube things that I've ever done. The hospitality of the Shadow Foam team while I was up there, although it didn't look like I was filming for long, I was there for a full day. We went for lunch. Absolutely amazing team.
If you're not familiar with Randy's channel, Moorlander EDC, what is it that you do on your channel?
So EDC, or everyday carry, is all about the things that you carry with you on a daily basis, whether that's watches, how you carry your keys, your wallet, all of that sort of stuff, backpacks. It's just really looking in depth into the stuff that you carry with you on a daily basis.
Yeah, and there is some really cool nifty gadgets and stuff. There's like quite a big market around EDC stuff now.
Oh, yeah,
there's so much gear, isn't there?
Huge.
Yeah. So go and check out Randy's channel, show him some love over there and subscribe, links in the description. And yeah, if you're into your EDC, let us know what you would organise in this case. This huge war chest could organise a fair amount of gear, so I'd love to hear what you think, so let us know in the comments below. And if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you like that video, why not check out some of our others? We've got new videos coming out every week. And Colin Furs, what's the quickest way for people to see these videos? Subscribe.